What is up, guys? It's me, Haloraders. We're back with some more Pokemon Leaf Grade. In the last episode, we made our way through the Cycle Road. And today, I made the promise that I might do the gym, but I'm probably going to have to cancel after having looked up the amount of different Pokemon you can get in this city. Right, so to start off with, I'm going to show you the Pokemon they've got visible, right? Okay. So, here, we have Kangaskhan, right? That's Kangaskhan. That's what it looks like. You already know what Kangaskhan looks like, and you know what I think about it. I'd love to add one to my team. It's a nightmare to catch one, so I'm not going to try. Then there's Kabuto. That's one of the evolved Pokemon you can get from the fossils that we got ages ago. Except I went for the Omanyte rather than Kabuto, because I prefer Omanyte personally. And then this is Lapras. This is a Pokemon I was considering for my team, but everyone uses Lapras. And I mean that. Literally everyone I've seen do a walkthrough of this game uses Lapras. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try something different. That's why I've got Vaporeon on my team. And there's a Voltorb. I've already spoken about Voltorb. This is another one. Chansey! The toughest non-legendary Pokemon to catch, in my opinion. It's harder for me to catch than friggin' Kangaskhan. Because Kangaskhan you can catch. Chansey, don't even bother. Don't even bother with Chansey. It's got like a 3% out of 255% chance of being caught with an Ultra Ball, and along with that, it runs away even if you're in a normal battle sometimes, and you can only get it here. You want my advice? Just don't bother. Unless you're trying to complete the Pokedex, just don't bother. Well, that's pretty much, I think that's all the wild Pokemon around here. Yeah, it must be. They're all the ones that are on display. You can't get any of them because, well, they're on display. But we're gonna go into the Safari Zone! Alright! Okay, we're gonna talk to this person, and they'll talk to you anyway. Welcome to the Safari Zone! For just $500, you can play the Safari game! You can roam the wild open safari and catch what you like! Would you like to play? Oh, for the purpose of this Let's Play, yeah, let's play it. Usually I wouldn't do this because it is so tough. I mean, I would do this for fun if they gave you better balls. The balls that would catch Pokemon easier, like... They're playing the evolution music! I never noticed that before. Alright, okay, so let's get straight into the Pokemon you can catch here. Alright, so the Pokemon that you can catch in this thing, there are, this is the first area. There are two Pokemon we've already talked about that you can catch here. They're the Nidorans and also Venonat. When I say Nidorans, like, in Fire Red it'll be Nidoran male, in Leaf Green it'll be Nidoran female, and they're the most common, and Venonat has a 15% chance of appearing. There are also 7 different Pokemon we haven't talked about yet here. Yeah, that's how many different Pokemon you can catch here. And all of these we've met for the first time to be able to catch. Some of them we might have talked about already, but this is the first place you can catch them. Alright, so the first one on the list is Execute. I was considering this instead of Whitley, but I thought I've already got a Psychic type and a Grass type, and well, Whitley's been around for longer. I kind of just prefer that. Plus it would just be too long just to level it up, because it would like be maximum level 25. That's pretty low in comparison. But yeah, I was considering Execute. It's a pretty good Grass type. It's a Grass Psychic type, but its evolution's got some pretty good attacks, actually. It's also got the like ability Chloroform, which I think Whitley has as well. So if you teach it Solar Beam, and then teach it Sunny Day and Solar Beam, that's a pretty good tactic. Not only does it speed it up, but Solar Beam is only like a one-turn move. So that's a pretty good strategy for it. The next one on the list is Rhyhorn. It has the same amount of appearance chance as Execute and Nidoran, which is 20% of the time. And in both games, this is the case. Rhyhorn is a ground and rock type, which most rock types in this game are rock ground type. For some reason it's the other way around, but that doesn't actually make any difference. It still has the same weaknesses and the same strength. Rhyhorn's pretty good attacker. It's also got relatively good defense, but like most rock ground types, it doesn't have very good special attack or special defense. Rhyhorn's evolution's pretty good though, so if you want a good ground type or rock type, Rhyhorn might be for you. Now you already know what I think of Venonat, but the next one are the evolutions of the Nidoran and Nidoran male and Nidoran female. That's Nidorino and Nidorina. In each game, their appearance rate changes. In Fire Red, Nidorino has a 10% chance of appearing, and Nidorina has a 5% chance of appearing. It's the opposite way round in Leaf Green. Nidorina has a 10% chance of appearing, and Nidorino has a 5% chance of appearing. I'm losing my voice, but yeah, they're probably like the highest level Pokemon you can catch in this area, both being at maximum level 31 and minimum level 31. So if you want a good poison type from this point of the game, catch one of them. But you know what I think of the Nidoran family, so Nidorino and Nidorina are just more improved from them. The next one is Parasect, the evolution of Paras, and it doesn't really improve from Paras. It's still got the same weaknesses, it's probably stronger, but I still don't recommend it because its type is just so weak. And the next one is actually, like, this varies in both games, and I think both Pokemon you can get in this case are pretty good. They would be Scyther and Pinsir. These have a 4% chance of appearing in both games, so they're pretty rare. They're also tough to catch, but Scyther and Pinsir are both very good attackers, especially for bug type. And seeing as how the 6th gym, the one we'll be taking on after the next gym, is a psychic type, and psychics are weak to bug, it might be worth your time trying to catch one. And the last one you can get here is the rarest Pokemon to catch and find, Chansey. Oh my god. Don't even bother. I am serious. Don't even bother trying to catch Chansey. Unless you are that desperate to complete the Pokedex, just don't bother. It is a nightmare to catch, even outside of the Safari Zone. I mean, I tried to catch a Chansey once in friggin' Sinnoh. I ran across one in Sinnoh, I tried to catch it. It took me over an hour. And that's because it kept running away, as well as being impossible to catch with Ultra Balls. Ultra Balls can't catch this thing. Hell, the Master Ball could, but there's no point wasting it on a Chansey. There's much harder Pokemon to catch in this game. Alright, now I've gotten ranting on about that, we're gonna go up this way, into the next area. Right, okay. So, let's go ahead and talk about the Pokemon here. Okay, so apart from all the other ones from the last one, there are 3 different extra Pokemon you can catch here. 2 of them we've already talked about, them being Dojo and Paras, but you can't catch Chansey in this area, so give up on Chansey. But the new one you can catch here that hasn't been spoken about yet is Kangaskhan. You know what I think about Kangaskhan, and you know the fact that if I could find one, I would add it to my team. The only problem is it's at level 25 maximum and minimum in this area, so it's going to be pretty low in comparison to the rest of your Pokemon. But it's a pretty good attacker, it learns pretty good moves, and for a normal type, I definitely recommend it. It's a very useful Pokemon. The problem is, it is a nightmare to catch. It is probably not as tough as Chansey, because Chansey's even harder to find, but it's up there with some of the most annoying Pokemon to catch. It really is. Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to try and not get run into wild Pokemon. There's a friggin' Nidoran female! Yay, I don't need one of them! Just run away from it. Okay, so I'm just going to try to remember my way around here. Oh, there's some water. That gives me a chance to talk about the water Pokemon you can catch here. I don't get a chance to stop. Alright, so as you know, we've only got the Old Rod and the Super Rod, so I'm only going to talk about them. You all know that the Old Rod only catches level 5 Magikarp no matter where you are. But the Super Rod catches some pretty good Pokemon. There is one Pokemon we've already talked about here that we can still catch. That would be Psyduck and Slowpoke, of course changing depending on which game. And the maximum level they can be is level 35, which is pretty much the level that they'd evolve at. But the other 4 Pokemon are pretty unique, and one of them I definitely would recommend if you want to get some good team members. Okay, so the first one in both games is Goldeen. That's a relatively good water type, I think. It does the job, I believe. I've never really used Goldeen, so I can't really recommend it. But if you want a okay water type, especially for this area, I wouldn't really recommend Goldeen, as it's not the best. There are better ones like Lapras or Vaporeon, I'd recommend them more. But if you want to build up an all-water type team, I wouldn't have a problem with Goldeen. The next one is Seaking. That's the evolution of Goldeen, and, well, I guess it's stronger. But I didn't really recommend Goldeen, so I can't really recommend Seaking. Now, the next 2 are pretty much well known to a lot of Pokemon Blue and Red trainers, as a lot of people used this Pokemon. It's pretty good, it's very well known, and its evolution is very popular. That's Dratini. Dratini is the first Dragon-type Pokemon ever made. It's like, well, it's the first basic Dragon-type Pokemon ever created. It's pretty much the only one for its time, and it's pretty good. It learns some very good moves. It learns things like Thunder Wave, which is pretty useful. It can learn, its final evolution can learn electric type moves, which is good for dragons. And well, Dratini, being a dragon type, doesn't have a huge amount of weaknesses. It's only weak to ice and dragon. And at the time, when the game was made, there was only one dragon move, and that only ever did 40 damage, so yeah. Dratini was only weak to ice, so yeah. That's why a lot of people used it. It didn't have many weaknesses, and it was very strong. The last Pokemon you can catch here is Dragonair, the first evolution from Dratini, but it's the middle Pokemon of the group. Dragonair, of course, is better than Dratini, but I would recommend catching Dratini first, because not only is it more common, but you can make sure it has the right moves you want to give it. Plus, I don't think Dratini levels up till like level 35, and Dragonair can be at level 25, and that's just pointless. Alright, I'm getting tired of having to talk about all the Pokemon here, so we're just gonna move on. Oh, I'm gonna grab this first. What is it? Full Restore! Oh yay! Alright, we're gonna go. Ah! Son of a gun. I don't need Nidorans, go away! Alright, okay, so we're gonna run through this. Yeah! I nearly thought I made it! I thought I'd... Oh, Nidoran and free Nidorina! I don't need a Nidorina, but it's higher than most of my Pokemon! Christ! You little sod. How do you get that high? Apparently Nidorina's high! Alright, okay, so, is this the third area? I'd imagine it is. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the third area Pokemon now. Okay, so just like last time, there are only 2 new Pokemon in this area. The others are like pretty much the same as Area 2, but instead of, I can't remember which ones it swaps, but the 2 new Pokemon you get in both games are Venomoth and Taurus. Now, Venomoth first is the evolution of Venonat, and you can't catch Venonat in this area. Venomoth, of course, is probably better. It's still bug poison, but it can learn Psychic-type moves, I believe, seeing as how the Psychic-type gym leader uses one. Yeah, that's a bit of strategy for you to learn. When you come across Venomoth, don't worry about Psychic-type, just use Fire on it. Or a Flying-type. But Venomoth, I didn't really recommend Venonat that much unless you really like bug or poison types, so I'd recommend Venomoth if you're a fan of bug types or poison types, but I've never really used one, and I've never really wanted to use one. And Taurus is the rarest Pokemon in this area. Yep, you can catch Chansey in this area, but Taurus is rarer than Chansey. And I would probably recommend Tauros more than Chansey. I think Taurus can be easier to catch and is less likely to run away. But it's also stronger physically than Chansey, which is good for normal type, seeing as how normal type attacks are like physical attacks, and of course they will use normal attacks. They will use a physical. They will just use basic attack rather than special attack, whereas Chansey is much more for special defense, which is good. But I personally like my Pokemon to be strong rather than heavily defensive. But it all depends on your view. If you like Taurus, then I'd definitely recommend getting it, because it's pretty good normal type. Alright, so we're going to continue on. I'm just trying to find the area we're going to here. Is this right? I don't think it is, actually. Am I going on? Nope, I don't know. I'm a bit lost. Oh, hey, it's a Rhyhorn! This is a rare sight! But we're not going to catch it, as much as I'd love to catch a Rhyhorn. Alright, okay, so... Nope, this is the wrong way. Going up. And, I'm sorry, my phone's ringing, I'm trying to ignore it. Alright, okay, we're gonna go down this way, I think. Is this the right way? Is this the right way? I think it is, guys. Let's take that. Max Revive! I don't know which area this is. I don't think it's another area. Oh. No, this is the wrong way. This is the wrong way completely. Let's try up here. Nope. No, that's not right. We need to go all the way back up here. Right. I just hope we make it there before we run out of time here. Ah! You're not helping! Paris. The most useless grass bug type ever. Leaveney is better than you! At least Leaveney can do stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take this item, and it shall be mine. Steel Wing! That's a pretty good one to teach flying types. Not perfect for Charizard, however, because Charizard is a fire type too, and I don't think steel types work well for fire types. Okay, come on, we can make it there. Because we can make it anywhere. Ah! Not there, of course. Another Paris! I've run into enough of you already! Go home! Oh, are you kidding me? Really? Really? Oh, it's a Rhyhorn. Oh, I prefer seeing Rhyhorns. Okay, how many steps have I got left? Okay, we're running out of steps. We're running out of steps. We need to hurry up. We need to hurry up. Okay. Okay, so there's this. Gold teeth! Okay, I'm not gonna run here. I want to make sure I am okay. Okay, we're running out of steps. Okay, just pick up this item. Double team! We don't really need double team, but it might be something worth teaching Electra, but I doubt it. Now you speak to this guy. Ah, finally! You're the first person to reach the secret house! Although I made a campaign for our grand opening, I was getting worried that no one would win our grand prize. Congratulations! You have won! Joe received HMO free from the attendant. Joe put the HMO free in the TM case. HMO free surf! Pokemon will be able to ferry you across water using it. And this HM isn't disposable, so you can use it over and over. You're super lucky for winning this fabulous prize! Now, how many steps have we got left? Oh, there's a couple. Okay, so I may as well talk about the other Pokemon you can catch in this area, so I'll be back to talk about them in a second. Now, would you believe the chances? I've already spoken about pretty much every Pokemon you can catch in this area, except one, and that's because it's only catchable with the Good Rod. Not the Super Rod or the Old Rod, you can only get it through Good Rod. And it's the second most common Pokemon to get through the Good Rod. That's Poliwag. Now, Poliwag is okay, I guess, but you can trade its evolution Poliwhirl for probably a better Pokemon over in Cerulean City. So I might catch one in my spare time and evolve it just to get that Pokemon. But Poliwag, it's another water type that I probably wouldn't recommend. Its evolution, however, Poliwrath, is pretty unique as it's like the first water fighting type, and it's pretty much the only water fighting type ever made. So if you want a pretty unique Pokemon, I'd recommend it. But Poliwrath has quite a few weaknesses, I think, and you can only get it through Waterstone, and I don't think it ever learns any moves once it evolves. But if you want a unique Pokemon like Poliwrath, then catch Poliwhirl and catch Poliwag and evolve into Poliwhirl, I don't mind. I don't think you can catch Poliwhirl till like much later, so if you want to get it early on, I'd recommend doing that. Now it's time to get out of here. How many steps have I got left? Not many, so we're just gonna run in circles. Batman. I don't know where Batman just came from. A ding dong! Time's up! Your safari game is over. Did you catch your fair share? Come again! No, I didn't catch anything. Because what's the point? There's already a Let's Play called Steven Plays Pokemon Leaf Green, where he actually goes and catches all the Pokemon in the game. Or at least the ones he can obtain in Leaf Green. So if you want to see, like, someone attempting to catch those Pokemon, I'd recommend watching that rather than this, because I'm not going to be catching all the Pokemon. I just don't see the point. It's a nightmare. It would take up way too much of the Let's Play, and I've only got so long I can make this Let's Play for. I don't want to spend forever just catching wild Pokemon. As much as I'd love to fill up the Pokédex, because I've never done that in any of the Pokemon games, it just takes so long. I just don't want to. I've never felt it was urgent. Not even in like games like Colosseum or XD, where it's actually recommended you catch all the Pokemon that you can, because you get a reward at the end. But I never really got that far into the game. Right, so that's where I'm going to end it today, because that's pretty long in comparison. Not the longest video, but it's going to take quite a while to get through the gym. Plus my Pokemon are under-leveled, and I don't want to go back and fight all those other trainers. So I'll be doing that off-screen, of course. Next time on Pokemon Leaf Green, we will be taking on the 5th gym leader, Koga. I think his name is Koga, I think it was. I think it's pronounced Koga. I might be wrong. But he's the poison-type gym leader of this region, and he's pretty strong. He's kind of like... I find it interesting how most of the trainers in his gym use psychic types, and he's a poison-type gym leader. That's kind of ironic, don't you think? Because psychic types are strong against poison, but getting alongside with that, if this was in the Johto game, he'd have one of my favourite Pokemon of all time, and he'd also be one of the Elite Four, rather than the gym leader. But, never mind that. like and favourite if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to join the Rat Clan today, or the Crow Battalion today as it's being called for this Let's Play. If you want to random command a Pokemon, because we are on to our last team member we need, I have an idea on what it's going to be, but I'm not going to give it away till we get there. And it's going to be a bit of levelling up for it, because it's only going to be around level 25 when we can get hold of it. That's a hint for you. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, favourite, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Haloraders out!